Welcome to the men's room. Okay, so this is going to be a solo episode that I'm speaking directly to the audience. I had a brief encounter with a few of my good colleagues, and they gave me a pool of questions to contribute to today's segment. Today's segment we're going to call Am I All I Can Be? Are you reaching your true potential? Have you put in the work to reap the benefits of said work? So let me go ahead and get a few of these questions that my colleagues had gathered for me. Question one is, when is the best time to set your goals? So how I would address that, I'd say your best time to set your goals is immediately upon planning, of course. Sit down with your significant other. If you're single, sit down with your savior, with your spiritual leader, and start to comb through some of your potentials, some of your skills, some of your goods and your bads, and then start to set achievable goals, what you think that you can achieve. I would start small, and then increase it as time goes on. You can set a huge target goal, but then set intermediate steps to get to that huge target goal. Second question, how important do you think planning is? I was once told, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And I've noticed that through experience. You actually need to even plan, like, for example, you plan, like when you're about to go to the grocery store, you actually plan what you're going to get. You plan what route you're going to take, any stops you got to make between home and the grocery store. You plan it. So when it comes to your goals and what you're attempting to do for your future, you're going to want to plan that as well. Yeah, you're going to want to plan that step by step. The only way to eat the whole pie is bite by bite. So take that first bite. Like I said, this is going to be a brief segment of the men's room tonight, and I just wanted to touch base directly with the audience and with my brothers who may have a dilemma, may have a distraction or a setback on their goals, and their future potential. Here's another question. What advice would you give the younger you? And the advice that I would give my younger self is to stay consistent. Stay consistent. Life is full of eves and flows. So if I work super hard during my low times, when my high times come, consistently work super hard, because you know what? The low time will be coming back. And when it does come back, you're prepared. Let's say you have a financial issue. You may have money set aside because you worked through the celebratory time. It's no time to pop bottles and celebrate. Nobody's won anything. Okay. All right. So here we are. What are some examples of distractions from your goal? Relationships, emotions, greed, ego. The list goes on, but those are a few of the things that can get into your way and distract you from your goals, distract you from planning for your goals, distract you from taking the steps to reach these goals. Usually when I have a plan, when I have something I'm trying to work on, I like to put a few things in place, and I may not tell anybody about it. I may tell maybe one or two people in my think tank just to throw it off the wall to see how they respond. But outside of that, it's just between myself and my God, you know, and I step out on faith with my decision and with my goal, and I just go for it. I just go for it. I don't know if, faith is a major part in this. And for some of my audience members who are a bit younger than myself, you may have to Google this, but I always call it the Billie Jean effect. And if you ever have time, you may have seen me speak on this on other platforms or interviews, but I'm gonna say it again. If you have time, Google Billie Jean by Michael Jackson and pull that video up. When you're watching that video, you're going to see at some point in the video, Michael Jackson is walking down a city street, and like every step that he took, the concrete underneath him lit up. Every single step. Boom, he'll take another step, it'll light up. Boom, he'll take another step, it'll light up. And I'm sitting here as a kid and I'm like, that is amazing. First off, how did they get that to work? But then I noticed there was a message inside of that. The concrete wouldn't light up until he actually stepped on it. It didn't light up before he took the step. It lit up when his foot hit it. So he had to initially take the step and believe that when his foot hit the concrete, it would light up. I'm like, oh, there's an example of faith. I mean, it's a parable, but you can use that as an example of faith. You got to step out on faith, and you got to believe when you take that step that concrete's going to light up for you. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, this is kind of funny, and I hope everybody gets it when I say it. You got to look out for gold diggers. GOAL diggers. That's a person who, let me see, a gold digger. That is a person who absorbs your information, absorbs your goals. You go to them, you speak to them, you like, look, man, I'm thinking about opening this painting business, bro. I got a few customers lined up. Man, I got this van, I got my old van. I'm gonna just put my ladders on it and I'm going for it. So the word gold digger, if you've ever met someone who absorbs your information, you just go and you tell them, I'd like to start a painting company. I want to start a heating and air company. Man, I've got this old van. I've got the equipment. I got a few customers. I think I could do this, man. I think I could do this. And here they are. Oh, well, man, this economy's kind of rough, man. You sure you want to do it right now? Well, man, painting is a seasonal type of thing, man. I don't know if you're going to be able to pull it off all year round. And, oh, man, the last business you tried didn't quite work. That's what you call a gold digger. Here's another example. You're dating a female. You guys are at home. Dinner is over. You guys are watching whatever your favorite sitcom is or whatever. And you just like, hun, I'm thinking about investing in some foreclosed property. We don't have the money for it. That money that we have is, that money's for bills. And, I can't do this by myself. And gold digger. Gold digger. Let's relate it to the kids. Well, son, I think I'm finally gonna go ahead and step out on faith and start this family business. I think I'm gonna do that. Well, Dad, oh man, I'm trying to get my Mustang fixed. Dad, I got court on such and such date. Dad, I got gold digger. You have to concentrate and focus on your goal. You have to do an internal assessment. That's basically just move everybody else out of the way and assess yourself internally. Starting at the oodles and noodles and head straight down. Take a little time, keep yourself healthy. Take time for yourself, basically. You have to nurture your goal. By nurturing your goal, you're taking care of yourself. You're putting your focus on the steps that it's going to take for you to achieve said goal, and just working at it every day. Head down, face forward, tunnel vision. That's how you do it. And then you're going to look up and you'll be very proud of yourself because you would have achieved a step. You would have achieved a milestone. You may have achieved the large goal. Just keep working at it. Okay, so here's another one. Let's say that I wanted to set myself up for an electrical business or get started in a certain industry. You know what? Let's say I wanted to set myself up into the music industry, which is a very, very tricky and elusive industry to set yourself up for. But let's say I wanted to do it. I'd wake up. Thank God for waking up. I'd wake up and I would do research. Plan one, research. Step one, plan one, research. Plan two, I'd staff my dream. I'd staff my goal. If I have some running around to do and I know I can't run around, then I have to find someone to do that for me. I have to delegate someone to do that for me. So I would staff my goal. 3, logistics. How am I going to move around? Where am I going to start? But on top of that, how am I going to get there? Right? So logistics, and that's how you go about planning. You just start piecing it together. Build yourself somewhat of a grid and then navigate through that one step at a time. That's how I would enter any industry, starting with research. Okay. Are relationships beneficial to goal setting or achieving those goals? You want the straight the straight answer, or you want the around the curve through the neighborhood answer? I'll wait. Okay, I won't wait. I'm going to give you the straight answer. No. In my opinion, relationships are not very beneficial to setting goals or achieving said goals. They are beneficial when you're celebrating milestones along the lines of getting to where you want to get. A lot of times they form a barrier between yourself and your goals because you're distracted with someone else's feelings and someone else's needs, and then enters emotions. There's no way in the world you're thinking about achieving any goals when you're wrapped up in emotions. No, you're probably thinking about what's the next R&B song you're going to put on your playlist, when the next time you're going to get some booty, whatever. But none of it is on the path of getting to the goals that you set. So I would say no on the relationship thing. If you're already in a relationship, so be it. Don't cancel your relationship. Speak with your partner. and let them know what your goals are. Make sure they're not a goal digger. And if they're on board with your goal, then keep them on board. If they're not on board with your goal, then they got to go. I didn't make the rules. So if you ask me, I would kind of leave relationships alone until I've gotten further along my path. Yep. Yep. And then go get married and, have a family and so forth. If you try to do all of that without achieving your goals, you're only setting up roadblocks for that goal. Excuses, built-in excuses, which we want to avoid. And here's the final bullet point, final talking point. How do I feel about young people joining the military directly after high school? And I'd have to say I'm not fully on board with it. I think it's an awful large commitment to make directly out of high school when your brain isn't fully developed, because your brain's not fully developed directly out of high school. I don't care how upset you get. I don't care how much you puff and huff and puff and say this old whiskered gray faced dude don't know what the hell he's talking about. Bro, not until you're about 27, 26, 27, do you even begin to understand what's developing inside of your brain. I mean, yes, you can probably go punch someone in the lip. Yes, you probably can go get someone pregnant. Yes, you probably can go hurt someone or make someone happy at 18, 19 years old. Yes. But are you mentally set up to be the provider for your family? I mean, really be the provider spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally, the protector, the gatherer, all of this. Are you prepared for that? When you sneeze, are you prepared? Are you prepared not to hear God bless you? No Christmas gifts, no birthday gifts. Your happiness lies within their happiness. Are you prepared for that? Okay, then you're not a man yet. Just hang tight. You'll get there. This has been the men's room. I really, really enjoyed this segment because it gave me an opportunity to speak directly to you guys and give a little more insight on some of the youth who may have questions about achieving, their future. It's not all the answers, but maybe inside of this segment, you may have found one or two answers that could help. So until next time, I appreciate you joining me. This has been the Men's Room. I'm your host, Sean Starks. Take it easy.